Um, Good morning, everybody. My name is Malachi, as Tara told you, and I'm here in my capacity as a journalist. I'm a freelance journalist working across a diverse range of media, I hope. Belfast Telegraph, BBC, various others, including the Erotic Review. And I also am writer in residence at Queen's University Belfast. And anyway, Mike Wardlow has really given me my starting point today, because he said when he spoke this morning, I don't want the media picking one element of this report and leading with it. And that sums up his fear, and I suppose the Commission's fear about what the media does. And the bad news for him is that that is what the media will do. You know, they will pick an element of it and they will lead with it. There shouldn't be a surprise in a way that that's what they do. The training of a journalist is all towards looking at material, the broad range of information that comes in or that's accessible, and taking an angle on it, finding stories within it. Journalists make stories. And I do meet and I do sympathise with a lot of people who say to me, you know, we do this wonderful work in the community. We have concerns which are very strong and very valid. And the media doesn't give us enough space. It doesn't tell things our way. And I have to say to them, you know, I wouldn't really want them to either. You know, I don't want the media to be a notice board for all the good things that people are doing in society. I'm not here to defend the media in many ways. It's entitled to a good smack, but I do understand it, and I do work within it, and I do work on that understanding that what a journalist does is to pick a thread in an issue, you know, and follow that thread and find angles and stories which open up to say other things about society than those who provide that information might particularly want to be the things that are said. I also tell people that the word media is a plural noun. You know, it's it doesn't just mean there isn't one institution out there which is the media, which is responsible for everything that is broadcast or published, and therefore there isn't a target. You know, and this can be a very frustrating thing as well, I suppose, if you're anxious about the media, or if you're determined to change the way the media functions in society and get the media to notice you more. There isn't a single target that you can hit. You know, you can't just go and get Nolan by the neck, you know, and in that one eminently pleasurable movement, call the Belfast Telegraph and UTV and everyone else to account, you know. But I think that the media does have a responsibility, and if I've been sounding like I'm saying that they don't, then please forgive me for that. I think one of the things that comes to me in my reading of attitudes of prejudice is that people are very predominantly prejudiced against what they don't know, you know. And many times society has changed, and things have changed in the world that we know that are quite remarkable. I mean, certainly when I cast my mind back, and I'm a man in his 60s now, I can remember a time when the proper word in ordinary conversation for a person who was homosexual or gay was queer. You know, and I mean, that's even evolved to the point where people within sexual orientation promotion groups use the word themselves. But it's now a word that is offensive in the normal discourse. And yet would we have imagined, you know, 20, 30 years ago that we would have been having a public debate on the idea of gay marriage and a Prime Minister of the UK promoting the idea? So, and how does that affect the media? The media has to be asked, you know, do you take some credit for this? Have you played your part in the evolution of attitudes towards a greater understanding of groups which were previously reviled? And I think many in the media would say, yes, we have. We have played a part in that. We have been part of the wider discussion within which attitudes changed. And I think if they're going to do that, then if they're going to accept some kind of credit for the way we have had some evolution within this, then it implied in that very thing is the responsibility to work towards continuing to change attitudes within society. And I want them to do that, but I don't want them to do it by going out now today and, on the back of this report and finding a couple of tokenistic transgendered people or people suffering from mental illness and paying homage to the demands of society and the fears that are and taking consideration of the fears that are fermenting in society, and then just interviewing them about that. What I want to see is the integration of people of minority groups, of ethnic groups, of disadvantaged groups, including the elderly, because that was one of the ones that came up quite surprisingly, I think, for many of us, being integrated into the wider public discussion. You know, I don't want it all to be a discussion about disadvantage and discrimination. I want to hear people of transgendered nature or of people who are mentally ill. I want to hear the rest of their lives. I want to see people who are concerned about schizophrenia being asked about what they think about Bruce Springsteen, you know, or whatever, you know, and that's how it will be done and how it should be done. The other thing, I come back to what I said about media being a plural noun. Media is diverse. We will get journalists coming back to us and they will say, oh no, you know, this is not what we do, just promoting your stories and taking up the angles that you would want to provide us with. We interrogate society and society includes you. But media includes drama. Media includes magazines, it includes feature articles. It isn't just news, so don't fixate on news as the place in which you will get noticed. And don't only harass the newsmakers and the presenters for their negligent treatment of the concerns that you are committed to. Harass them all. Thank you.